Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to my channel, to my Bookland, and to our coffee times together. So today I thought, because Halloween is just around the corner, I would maybe tell you about a couple of books, like spooky/horror books that I have read recently, like in the last 2 years or so, that are also not too chunky. So maybe if you have any of those on your TBR pile, or you want to get them for Halloween and have a Halloween 24 hours readathon, you can use a couple of these. Hopefully, I'm giving you a couple of new books that you can check out for the spooky month.
It's coffee time!
Just for this video, it's not 3 hours long. I'm just quickly going to mention the books that I would recommend you to pick up for either the Halloween week or for the Halloween day itself, the 31st of October. So let's get to them. I have a couple of middle grade options because those ones are great spooky books that you can read pretty fast. The first one is, of course, City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab, and you can also pick up the second book, Tunnel of Bones, that I don't own yet but I want to pick up. And here we're following a girl whose parents investigate the supernatural and have like a TV show about it, and they go and investigate haunted houses and places, and they don't know that their own daughter can cross the veil between the dead and the living and can see basically ghosts. Next we have Nightmares, which is the first book in a trilogy by Jason Segel and Kristen Miller, and it's about this boy whose father kind of has a new girlfriend, and they move into this new spooky house, and he starts to think that there's something going on in that house that they're, you know, not telling him. And he also finds kind of like a doorway to another world, the world of nightmares. Then we have the Darin Shawn Chronicles, and these are 12 books, and it's also known as Cirque du Freak. And I am so grateful that Ali from Hardback Hoarder made a readathon last year of these series, because I absolutely loved it. It is a middle grade, but it is so good, and it's creepy. It's you know, brutal when it has to be, it's a bit gory when it has to be, and it has vampires, werewolves, like all different types of creatures and freaks, and absolutely great for a, you know, readathon, because the books are pretty short. They are under 200 pages and they're a total of 12. Next I have a couple of thrillers in case you want to check some thrillers. There is one that I've never heard anybody mentioning, so I thought I would include it here, and that is The Ice Twins by S.K. Tremaine. And I knew I wanted to read this when I knew it was about twins, and it is these twins which one of them dies, and the parents don't even know which is the one that survives, because they think it's a twin pretending to be the other, and things get really spooky and they start to investigate to see what happened. And I really enjoyed it. It has like Nordic vibes just because they're in this kind of island and there's the sea. And if you have not checked it out yet, it's also not too long, so perfect for Halloween. Then I have I Know What You Did Last Summer. This is the book that inspired the movie. This is a very fun, quick read slasher, so if you like the movie, you might want to give the book a try. Then I have The Chalkman by C.J. Tudor. Now, I know not a lot of people love this debut novel, but I did like it. I thought it had some touches of Stephen King. It doesn't get obviously there, but I thought it was a very decent debut novel. It did have a couple of things that could have been done better, but I still love the concept, love the main story, and the story of the Chalkman. Next I have a couple of books about witches, because we all love them. The first one is Hex by Thomas Oldhoveld. It is a Dutch author, but I read the book in English, absolutely loved it. This is a very different take on witches. It's very spooky, and you are kind of trapped in this town where people start to see this witch, and I thought it was really creepy and disturbing, and I would recommend this to anybody that loves witches. Next we have How to Hang a Witch by Adriana Mather, and it is kind of like a retelling of something that happened to the author's family, and it is again something that it seems It's a basic teenage, you know, story, because there is this girl that moves back into Salem and she doesn't know anybody. Everybody's judging her because of things her family did in the past. But then it takes a turn and it becomes this really dark, atmospheric story, and it's definitely one of the best books about witches that I have read. And of course I have The Wicked Deep by Shaw Earnshaw. This is a book that you love if you love things like Hocus Pocus, because like in Hocus Pocus we have here 3 sisters that were judged for being witches and they were killed and they were basically drowned. They were not hanged in this one, but every year in summer they come back to take 3 boys from town and drown them with them, because this is the curse that they put on the town when they were killed. And it is spooky, very atmospheric as well. It's a dark story and I absolutely loved it. Next I have a couple of end of the world situations. We have first of all Bird Box by Josh Malerman, and I read this one recently. It is basically our society, and one day there is these events that start to happen. People start to go crazy, killing each other, killing themselves, and there is apparently some entity that has come to Earth that if you see it you'll go mad and you'll kill yourself. So everybody starts to protect themselves and, you know, hide themselves in houses and wear blindfolds to protect themselves from these things that they suppose if they see they will go mad. And I love the book. It was creepy, it was disturbing, it had some gory parts, and I loved it. We also have The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. This was very creepy. It's kind of like a home invasion story. It was very disturbing, gory as well. So that's all I want to tell you, because I don't want to spoil this book for anybody, but also another great read for Halloween season. If you like zombie stories, I have a short one for you, perfect for Halloween night, and that is Dying to Live by Kim Buffenroth. And I really enjoyed this one. If you love shows like The Walking Dead, you're going to love this book, because it totally felt like that, like, you know, the typical kind of horror survival games, Walking Dead, that kind of vibe. You have to pick this one up. As for books of possessions and exorcisms, I have My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. This is a great, also fast-paced read about this girl that suddenly starts to act weird, starts to look, you know, different, and the friend starts to wonder what's happening with her. Yeah, so basically it's kind of like an Exorcist retake, and I really enjoyed it. I also have a couple of graphic novels to recommend you in case you're looking for something shorter to read. I have The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which is of course what inspired the Netflix series. So if you love the Netflix series, it's the same story, just this one has a couple of changes, and definitely the graphic novel is more bloody and disturbing. You're following Sabrina Spellman, and she lives with her aunts. She's half witch, half mortal, and for her birthday she needs to decide if she wants to be a full witch or renounce to her powers and, you know, be able to still be among the humans. Then I also have I Hate Fairyland. If you like stories that are funny, slasher, gory stories, and yeah, very funny, I will definitely recommend you this one. There's a lot of gore and slasher in this, but it was fantastic and one of my favorite graphic novels that I have recently read. And of course we have a classic, Coraline by Neil Gaiman. You can actually read the graphic novel and rewatch the movie or watch it for the first time if you haven't. I think it's a perfect plan for Halloween night. And of course this would not be a recommendation video if I would not recommend you some Stephen King. So I chose 2 of his books that are short but are full stories. First we have of course Carrie, and this is about a girl that has telekinetic powers, and basically everybody treats her as a loser in school until she decides to take revenge. Another great plan to read the book and then watch the movie. Please do watch the original. I don't hate the remake, but it's not as great as the original was. And then we have The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, the story about a 9-year-old girl that gets lost in the woods and starts to freak out because she knows that when you get lost in the woods, bad things happen to you. And this is a book that still has not been turned into a movie, but apparently the rights have been sold and it is going to be turned into a movie, which is really exciting because I really love this book. And it's one of those Stephen King books that, as you can see, it's not really chunky, so perfect for a one-day read. Alright, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed my very quick recommendation video of things that are not too long and then maybe you can read in one day. Let me know down below what will you be reading for Halloween, or which are the books that you like to revisit during the spooky season. Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Please give the video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. And if you do have an account at Goodreads, Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, the links to those social media accounts can be found in the description box down below, so we can connect over there as well. And I hope to see you all in the next coffee time. Bye!